because God, do I know what it's like when you feel like your voice isn't worth anything, when it feels like your voice isn't worth being heard, but it is. Oh, you guys, 1,000 YouTube subscribers. For a lot of you, you might not understand why this is so significant to me, and I'm going to use this to kind of expand on why it is. Because a lot of the things that you see and a lot of the things that you hear me talk about seems like it comes off like supernatural. But the reality is it's not. It actually takes quite a lot to put yourself out there. So if you're a creator, if you're thinking about going online, if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, if you're thinking about just sharing everything in your life that's ever helped you, and you're wondering, should I talk about this? Should I not talk about this? Is this valuable to anybody? Is there a point? Am I going to get judged? I'm going to kind of go as much into all of that as I can, and to kind of share with you too what comes up for me when I'm doing YouTube or I'm doing any really piece of content, and why YouTube's so different for me. Why getting to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube means so much to me. So number one, I want to thank you guys so much for supporting the channel, supporting everything that I'm talking about, because I'm talking about in this channel some real shit. I talk about all of the things that have ever haunted me. I talk about all the things that ever hurt me. I'm probably the most vulnerable here on this platform than I am with any other platform, not because I don't choose to be, but the audience on other platforms usually just want my information. They usually just want my skill set. Here, if you guys notice, I'm talking for 15 to 30 minutes, upwards of 40 minutes, talking about my life experiences in the hopes of helping somebody that needed to hear that message today. And YouTube's the only platform that I really connect with you guys at that level, where you're actually seeking to grow personally and learn these lessons and apply it into your life. I mean, I've gotten so many feedbacks and messages of people like literally just watching these YouTube videos and telling me how much it's starting to change their life, how their operating system is starting to change, how their perspective of life is starting to change. They've even dropped weed, they've dropped drinking, they've dropped all of these things that don't serve them anymore just from watching my YouTube video. So like from the bottom of my heart, seriously, thank you guys so much for the love, the support, and just continue to stay plugged in because, really when I see those comments, when I see the engagement, when I understand what the videos are doing for you guys, it makes me want to show up for one more day. It makes me want to show up for one more video. It makes me want to show up just one more time. And I'll explain like why, right? Because I mentioned to you guys that talking and being on YouTube was something that I actually held off for a long time. I've actually thought of YouTube many years ago, but here's the thing. What you guys see today, this version of me is built, okay? I've invested $780,000 into my personal development. Who I was years ago was not this guy. And so when you guys see me talking and just flowing and you guys are asking, well, Phil, how are you so confident on camera? How do you do all of this stuff? How are you online? How are you making all these moves? It's not really how am I doing it. It's not a tactical strategy. It's every single day I'm figuring out what's causing me to hold myself back. So here's what happened. And here's the honest truth. What held me back from even going on YouTube, starting a podcast, really sharing my story was this like fear of judgment. And there was a judgment of self and there was a judgment of others. A lot of that judgment and the fear of that judgment had nothing to do with like people's opinions really bothering me. I think for me, it was more of like my self-value, my self-worth. Because if you guys have been following my like what I talk about, the reason why I teach people confidence is because I know there's so many people in the world that lack self-worth. They don't understand their value. They don't understand that their life means something. And as you guys kind of go through more and more of my content, you're going to really start to see the patterns of why, people I've lost, how I almost took my own life. There's so many different reasons why I genuinely believe that the world has never been taught their own value. And so when we think about something like YouTube, right, being here in front of you from anywhere in the world that is open to judgment. I mean, I'm sharing like crazy things in my life that like I wouldn't even share to like my friends or to people that like physically are near me or people that have known me for years. I don't share these types of stories with them, but I share it here online where strangers can just completely judge me out of nowhere. And the biggest thing for me is when I make content, I chose that when I first started on YouTube, I'm going to create a video for the one person in the world that needs to hear the message. And as long as I tap in with that one person, as long as they hear the calling, as long as they get the shift that I was hoping for them to get out of that video, I win. So when I went onto YouTube, and again, it hasn't been that long. It's been like maybe a little bit over a month of like actively posting. And the channel has grown exponentially. I've heard that people take over a year to grow over to 1,000 subscribers. I know that like a lot of people get like 10 views on their videos. And again, I never knew that what I'm talking about would even resonate with anybody. Like, honestly, I was like, I'm just going to talk about this stuff. And if it takes 5 years, I guess it takes 5 years. Surprisingly enough, so many people like the real and raw way that I teach, the way that I communicate, the way that I create these videos. I mean, it's just one shot, one kill. The only thing that's edited on these videos is like the front and the end. That's it. Everything else is like one shot, because I want you guys to know that everything that I'm teaching is like I'm extracting it from my heart. I'm extracting it from like a deeper place, and this is the message I genuinely feel the world needs to hear. So when we think about that thought process, how many people in this world would be confident to be like, hey, I'm just going to speak whatever's in my heart, and that's what I genuinely feel like the world needs to hear? How many people do you actually know can just speak like that, truly believe the words that they're saying, and then show up every single day, day in, day out, not worrying about the comments, not worrying about the views, not worrying about none of that? It's a difficult thing, and the thing that was the most difficult for me was getting to the point where I would even make that first video. My second video or something like that, I was even crying because I was just like, man, I'm just going to show these guys everything. I'm just going to give them everything that I could possibly give them. Because when you have a personality like mine, you know, for the most part, I'm pretty calm. For the most part, I don't really get riled up, you know, but there's times where like the machine gunner comes out. If you guys didn't know, I was a Marine. And so there's times where I'm yelling and I'm screaming. There's a video of me actually at a mastermind where I'm yelling and everybody's like, oh, this is fake. Oh, it's so cringy, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no, bro, like you have zero idea who I am. You have zero idea that this calm demeanor can also flip a switch from what I've learned inside of the military for who I had to be inside of the military. And then I can go back to being a dad, and I can go back to being a softie that talks about romantic comedies. You know, I can be all of this. And to be all of that in the eyes of the world is a scary thing. And I know that for a long time. You know, I actually sat on YouTubing and podcasting. I know for sure actively this past year. Like this past year, I was like, damn, I really got to start. I really got to get my message out there, because more and more people, if you guys didn't know, online entrepreneurship, I have a lot of high-end clients, a lot of people giving me feedback that I need to like start sharing more of my life, not just the skill sets, not just sales and business, not just any of that stuff, but like life lessons, things that have really changed my life to allow me to become who I am today. And when we think about that, for me, it's the scariest fucking thing. You know, like one of my first coaching businesses was teaching people confidence. And my philosophy is we teach what we struggle with the most. So obviously, confidence is a real big thing for me, because at every level, it requires a new level of confidence. So when I first started thinking about getting on YouTube, I was like, damn, like what if I start sharing all this stuff, and what if like I look like an asshole? What if people think that I'm not like this hard charging go-getter person? What if this affects my business? What if I start sharing things that authentically mean something to me, right? Like when we're talking about like alcohol, weed, and like drugs, and like where I was in those times, like you guys have to remember, being a business owner, you worry about shit like that. Like, is that going to affect like what's going to happen with my businesses? Are people not going to trust me because they know that this is my past? You know, and then maybe these are stories that like I haven't told anybody before. I haven't really reflected on it, because for me, it's like, that's just what I lived. And so a lot of the times with the things that I've lived, I really just felt like I was surviving the whole time. I didn't really feel like there was a structure or a strategy to have gone through those moments in my life. And that's, again, why I genuinely believe we don't value ourselves. We don't value our lives and the shit that we've gone through, because for us, we just survived. We just lived it. And my hope with this channel is to continue to show you guys that speak your voice, speak your truth, speak the things that mean the most to you, because for you and for people like you, for people like me, they need to hear that message in the way that you can communicate it. There's no like script. There's no way to rehearse. If you learn to speak from the heart, you have to understand there's billions of people in the world. There are so many people in the world that have gone through similar things in their life that you've gone through, but they didn't have the mentality, they didn't have the resilience, they didn't have the fortitude to continue persevering, to keep like moving on up. And that's one thing that I really had to learn about myself. Like there's something about me that forces me to continue showing up. It forces me to keep doing the hard things even when I don't want to. It forces me to do videos even on the days where like I really just don't want to do a video. I really just don't want to speak from the heart because that day I'm really feeling like bad. I'm really feeling stressed out. And then there's other days where like the literal next day I'm like hypercharged and motivated and I'm just like, well, Jesus, bro, man, I'm giving people a lot, you know? It's a lot for people to know somebody like me that can have these extreme highs, extreme lows, can be extremely angry and then like really zen. And then it's like not judging yourself for that. You know, it's like being able to accept myself at the deepest possible level. And that's what I get to do here. It's like whoever needs to hear it, hears it. Whoever doesn't, then fuck off. Don't watch the video. But there's always going to be haters. And then for me, it's really just like now creating the videos, it's like, okay, well, whatever happens, happens. I can't control the world. What I can control is how I show up. And now at this season in my life, I just want to show up. I just want to show up for whoever needs to hear it. And whatever happens, happens. And for some reason, the moment I truly, genuinely accepted myself and said, hey, man, like you're going to be angry some days, you're going to be sad some days, you're going to cry in some videos, you're going to be happy in most, you're going to reflect on things, and sometimes it's going to be more tactical. Some days you're going to be rambling for 15 minutes, some days it's going to be 40 minutes. Who fucking knows and who cares? When I went to that point, I was just like, all right, let's send it. Just to turn on the camera to start recording, and then to just sit there for a second and just start flowing just like I am now. It takes a minute because the filtering system, the mind, okay, what should we try to talk about a specific topic? Should we talk about this thing? Should we talk about that thing? And the reality is to be, in my opinion, a creator, a leader of people who can authentically be themselves is learning how to do this now, how to just flow. I don't know the next word that's going to come out of my mouth. I really don't. All I know is that whatever comes to me, I must speak. And for some reason, that's the thing that's resonating with most people. Because for the most part, I'm talking about personal development. For the most part, I'm talking about all the things that haunted me in my life. If you guys have seen some of my tattoos, some of my biggest deadly sins, sometimes I talk about that. There's sometimes I really talk about like sales and business, like for a little bit. But for a majority of it, it's who you become in this process. So I want you to understand, like the reason why 1,000 subscribers means so much to me is because I talk so much about things that are important to me that I actually didn't value for a long time. I didn't value that like all these things that are important to me are actually valuable to other people. I really didn't. I really thought that if I started talking about this, the only feedback I would get is like, Phil, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear about your life. I don't want to hear about none of that. But when I start getting the feedback that people are like dropping their vices, they're getting fit, they're waking up earlier, they're being better people for their families, just from my YouTube videos, I'm like, Jesus, I guess I'm doing something right. I don't know. And that's kind of how I'm approaching this entire situation. I'm just giving what I feel I can and seeing the comments. Because guys, like I'm really commenting back. I'm really engaging back with you because I want to know like, what are the things that I'm talking about that are really helping you out? What are some topics that like if I expanded on it, it would change your life? Like what are all these things? Because if you haven't noticed, and one of the reasons why I actually love YouTube as a platform, I'm a talker. I love pouring into people. On Instagram, I got like 30 fucking seconds. On Facebook, people like to read versus like listening to me talk. You know, podcasting, it's kind of just doing whatever it's doing. And then TikTok, I don't get TikTok. I don't fucking know. But YouTube, I can just talk for days. And for some reason, the right people feel it's really valuable. And so for me, what that does, it really like warms my heart because again, I struggle a lot with self-worth. Believe it or not, because I don't look the part. You know, I'm a tatted guy. I'm in shape. I have a look to me that's like, that guy doesn't have any issues. Literally, that's the feedback I get. I just have it going on. And I'm in my head, I'm just like, you know what's happening inside of me? I'm fucking struggling here. You know, like the anxiety sometimes is at all-time highs. Sometimes I am lacking confidence. Sometimes I am like just like questioning myself, like, what the fuck am I doing, bro? But I want you guys to understand, like, this is literally what happens. So anybody that says they always got it going on 100% of the time, I genuinely think it's full of shit. I think they're bullshitting you because there's no way There's no like there's probably some unicorns for sure. I'm not gonna take that away from the unicorns. But for the most part, most people that are creators, they struggle so much with so much shit. And I think that people really need to talk about that. Like, this shit's not easy. And like, you go through all of these highs and these lows, and you're just like, man, like, are we doing the right thing with the fucking channel? Like, are we going in the right direction? Am I actually making an impact here? Or are we just wasting fucking time? And to like go through that and just continuously showing up, and then to get the feedback, and then to see it hit 1,000, because the next celebration I'm gonna have is 100,000, guys. Then after that, it's 1,000,000, and we're just gonna push through. Whether that takes 5 years, 10 years, whatever. I'm just gonna keep making these videos. I'm gonna keep talking with you guys, and I'm just gonna keep showing you what happens when you allow yourself to truly be yourself. When you allow yourself permission to just say, hey, fuck, man, like, I'm kind of tired of living life on other people's terms. I'm kind of tired of just listening to other people telling me how to live, how to be, how to act, how to perform, how to do this online thing. And I'm just kind of going to do me. Because guys, when I start doing me, when I'm not worried about like how it's going to look, if it's going to help the business, if it's going to generate all of this stuff, if I'm going to hit 1,000 subscribers or not, when I take all of that shit out of the equation, I got to the level. I wasn't like, when I started this channel, I wasn't like, oh shit, like, let's get to 1,000 subscribers, like ASAP. Like, what do we need to do strategically? Like, this is not like a business strategy for me. I wasn't like, okay, we got a battle plan, the whole strategy to get to 1,000 subscribers. I was kind of like, oh shit, people are actually subscribing to the shit that I'm talking about. Oh shit, that has 100 views. Oh shit, that went to 200, 300, 400. Ooh, I think this one's going to hit 500. For me, even though it's a couple hundred and people have like millions of views, to me, that's a lot for me, because I talk a lot. And again, like every view I get on my videos, I'm like, oh shit, that's one more person that gets me. You know, like for me, I'm just kind of interested. I'm like, okay, if I just keep showing up and I just keep sharing all this shit and I keep talking about what helps me, and in hopes that it helps other people, I wonder how many people, because I can see that through the subscribers and the views, I wonder how many people I'm actually helping. With every view, with every subscriber, I know that the message is being sent out there. There's people receiving, there's people downloading it, there's people applying it into their lives. And again, guys, like when I get that feedback, when I get those comments, when I get the engagement, and I feel what you're feeling when you consume it, man, like it really just, it motivates me to show up. Because like this channel, it's a passion channel for me. Like I've always wanted to pour into people all of my life lessons. Like, as much as like, you know, I give my dad a lot of credit for, you know, bringing us here from the Philippines. After 10 years old, I didn't have a father figure. I didn't have like that male model to show me the path. I've always had to like seek that out within myself. I had to seek that out inside of the military. And like one of my dreams, actually, and believe it or not, like I have some weird dreams. Like a lot of people are like, hey, I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a doctor. I want to be this. I want to be that. I wanted to be a dad. But the other thing that like really calls to me is like being able to like be people's mentors and guides in the world, because I know that I genuinely care about people. And so to be able to create a channel where literally that's all I do, there's not much else that's happening here. I'm literally just pouring in, and whoever wants to receive, receives. It like warms my heart that I can actually just do that. You know, I'm still going to do my thing, you know, build my businesses, blah, 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 blah. But here, you guys get the rawest version of me, the uncut, the everything that you actually need. And the thing that you guys need to remember, it's this over time proximity that's going to help you start changing your life. When you see like the evolution of my life, when you guys see that like on day 1 to day 1,000 to day 100,000, I don't know if we live that long, I fucking know. I'm going to be practicing the same thing. And you're just going to see like how it slightly changes, but it really doesn't like deviate from the path. It's going to show you guys that to live a happy life, to live a life that is meaningful to you, you just have to be you. And here's a lesson that I learned leaving the military. One of the hardest things about leaving the military, and all veterans will understand this, is when you leave the military, it feels like you've lost your people. It feels like you've lost your brotherhood. It feels like you've lost like this identity that belonged to something bigger than themselves. You lose like the sense of purpose and mission. And so when I entered entrepreneurship, what I decided to do was like shift it. I wanted to reclaim my power back. And the way that I did that was I shifted my perspective from, you know, like, oh, now I'm out here in the world by myself. You know, like I'm not doing life with anybody right now. to, okay, well, if that's how I feel, I'm going to be the creator of a place where I find my people. My platoon is out there waiting for me. They just don't know of me yet. There's the lost ones out there that I'm going to find, and I'm going to have them join my platoon. And I'm going to create the thing that I feel like I'm missing. And so when we think about that in content creation, when you guys are online, when you guys are doing your thing, or even out in the world, like learn how to be more yourself and stop trying to be what fits the mold of what everybody else wants of you, what everybody else thinks that you should be, how you should act, how you should talk, all of that stuff. And you just be yourself. And it sounds so like, okay, Uncle Phil, like that type of advice, but it's real shit. If you're just yourself, the only people you're going to attract into your life are people that like resonate with that version of you. And for me, I only want to work with people. I only want to talk to people. I only want to engage with people who like understand my vibe. And if you catch my vibe, we're good. If you don't, I'm not for you. It's all good. There's other people, other creators out there that you can totally follow. And then there's going to be the fucking scum of the earth that just leave hater comments all day. And I'm just like, okay, sweet. There had to be one. Thank you, for proving that that's always going to happen. And when you're by yourself and you're just like, damn, I'm going to be me. I'm just going to be me 100% of the time. Fuck it. And like that becomes your promise to yourself. Your whole world changes. Your family treats you different. Your friends treat you different. Who you attract into your life, whether that's, for your business, for relationships, for just generally, just fucking people that even like pass you by at Starbucks, whatever. It completely changes because like your demeanor changes. Like you're more confident. You're more you. You don't have to try. You're just like, however I look is how I look. However I sound is how I sound. If I'm angry today, I'm fucking angry. It is what it is. I'm not taking it out on anybody. I'm just a little bit angry. I'm a little charged up. If I'm a little fucking sad, then like I don't need your help. I don't need you to hug me. I just am feeling the emotion and I'm just expressing the emotion. If I'm happy, then I'm fucking happy. If I choose to be happy but not be like fucking bubbly like everybody else, then that's my version of happiness. When you guys get to just accept and give yourself permission to just be you, man, the game changes. And what YouTube has shown me is that I just am myself. I can help in whatever way and format that I possibly can, that I feel right to share. And it'll do the thing. It'll help the right people. And I want you guys to just know that like if you just stay on the path and you're just like, I just want to be the best version of me. I just want to be the most free version of me. I want to be that version of me that I don't even really have to try anymore. Like I can just be me. I can talk freely. I don't have to judge myself. I don't have to be afraid of judgment. I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to be that. The freedom that you give to yourself, it's really undescribable. Because then you're not really doing it for a result. Like even as like I'm recording this, I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about right now. I don't even know if like this is helpful. Literally right now, it's happening. I got to this point where I'm just like, damn, I've been talking for how long now? I don't even know, 20 minutes. And I'm just like, damn, is this even going to be valuable? So I'm telling you right now, it's happening literally in real time. And this happens at every fucking video. If I'm just like, damn, am I going like the wrong direction? But right now I'm just like, no. This is the path. This is the direction. This is it. This is all you got to be, bro. This is all you got to be. And it's good enough. And again, every time I do one of these videos, it like reminds me of my worth. It reminds me of my value. And that's why I appreciate you guys so much for like being part of the journey, especially like at the start of this whole thing, because like, I don't know, we're just going to have a lot of fun as we continue building out the channel. I'm going to have a lot of fun sharing with you guys all the things that I genuinely feel like the world needs to know. And I'm going to share with you guys authentically when that shit comes up, because that way you guys can see like probably now and subscriber number 10,000 and then 100,000 and then 1 million, however long that takes. I bet you, knowing me, I'm still going to feel this way at those levels. Even if the proof has already shown me that people are resonating with the message. Guarantee I'm going to make a video, okay, in the future. Somebody hold me accountable to this. If you see it, just be like, hey, bro, you said that. You said that at 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to make a video one day where I'm going to share the same thing, where I'm probably going to celebrate a new milestone. I'm going to reflect back on this time, on this video, and be like, guys, like nothing's changed. Like literally nothing's changed. I literally just continue to show up. I literally was just consistent the entire time. And I just learned how to be more of myself. I learned to give myself more permission to be me, deeper and deeper and deeper. And for some reason, the channel keeps growing. The love keeps growing. The support keeps growing. And I'll probably do it again. So without rambling too much, guys, I just want to say once again, thank you so much for the love, for the support onto this channel. Again, this platform means the world to me more than any other channel because you just get me. The good, the bad, the ugly, the happy, the sad, the angry, the emotional, the grateful, all of it. And I hope with each one of these videos that you plug into, it just gives you permission to be yourself in those areas of your life that maybe you've been hiding. Because God, do I know what it's like when you feel like your voice isn't worth anything, when it feels like your voice isn't worth being heard. But it is. And especially if you're on the path to like creating content, especially on something like YouTube, podcasting, really any platform, and you're questioning if your message means something, it does. And the only way you're going to be able to really find that and feel that for yourself is to just start. Don't worry about the response. Don't worry about the love. Don't worry about the hate. Don't worry about how the production looks. Don't worry about how the sound looks. Don't worry about like none of that shit. I just want you to worry about, did I do the thing that scared me the most and put that video up? Did I start sharing my message? Did I start sharing what was real for me? And am I proud of myself for just doing that? You just do that for long enough, that sense of self-belief starts growing, that trust in self starts growing, confidence starts building, and you find yourself in those moments. I want you to remember that. All right, so once again, I can't thank you guys enough for being here as part of this part of the journey. I'm very excited to see like where this goes because I have no fucking clue. We've actually grown quite a lot in like the 24 to 48 hours after hitting 1,000 or whatever it is. More than usual. I don't know why. But we're going to see where this goes. I know that we're going to get to 100,000 for sure in the next 365 days. I don't know how. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm just going to just keep talking like this and people are going to be like, yeah, fuck yeah. Or what the hell is going to happen? And then maybe 5 to 10 years from now, 10, 15 years from now, we get to 1 million subscribers, me talking about God knows what. But we're just going to take it a day at a time. We're going to take it, a piece at a time. And yeah, I would love you guys' feedback along the way of just like things that maybe you're struggling with that you'd love for me to create content on. Because again, I've been through quite a lot in my life. I've healed through a lot of the traumas. And my hope is to help you become aware of some of those things so that way you can start that healing process too. And, build a life that you can really be proud of. Because I never thought that I would get here. And to be able to now share with you everything, every step that I've taken along the way, just means the world to me. So again, guys, thank you so much. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for subscribing. If you know that of anybody else that needs to hear any of these messages that you hear in any of my content or videos, share it with them. My goal is to really help change lives. And you guys have changed my life just by showing me that my voice means something out there in the world. So appreciate you guys. Much love. And send it.